Hi friends, let us understand a small topic of geology of India. See, the geology of India is not that important. I am saying not that important from your GS point of view, but obviously some questions can come, and why to leave even a single question in the UPSC examination, especially in the prelims examination. So let us understand a small topic of geology of India. Now before you understand the geology of India, I will explain you what geology means. Geology means study of rocks. And the study of rocks, why do we study the rocks? We study the rocks to understand what are the different types of rocks made up of. Helping us to study the geology will tell us about the nature of the rocks. If you are an industrialist and if I'm asking you, select a place in India where you will set up industry. That will depend on what kind of industry you are going to set up. If you are going to set up an iron and steel industry, coal industry, you will study the geology to set up industry somewhere in the peninsular India. If you are doing agro-based industries, you will study the geology to set up a industry somewhere in the other part of India. That means the study of geology or the study of rock structure helps us to understand the soil, helps us to understand the different kind of minerals which are present in the rock, and ultimately it will help us even in the economic geography to help us to understand the locational factor for the industries and other regions. Geologically, we can say India consists of two parts. One is the peninsular plateau region and the second is the extra peninsular region, which consists of Himalayas and the other regions. Now let us understand the geology from a short story. Consider that you know that from the Wegener's continental drift theory, India was once a single landmass. The Indian part was along with the Australia, was along with the Africa region, was along with the Antarctica region. They all formed a single landmass which was known as a Gondwana land. I hope that you remember this part. We have done this in the Wegener's continental drift theory. The Gondwana land, India was a part of a Gondwana land. An Indian plate was, the Gondwana land consists of South America, Africa, India, peninsular India, remember the point, peninsular India, Australia and Antarctica. Obviously, I will tell you a short story here how to remember the geology. Obviously, during some years back, Indian peninsula, the peninsular part of India said, we won't stay with the Australia, I won't stay with the Gondwana land, and it broke away from the Gondwana land. After it broke away from the Gondwana land, it got attracted towards Asia and it started drifting towards the Asia. That means what I want to say here is, Indian peninsula was a part of a Gondwana land, which after breaking from the Gondwana land, drifted towards Asia. It started drifting towards Asia initially starting from here. Now you don't have to remember in which year it was here, in which year it was here, then when it came in this part. Whatever the things are required for general studies, I will do that in the lecture. So you just understand the story to make you understand how the geology of India has shaped. It was here initially, then it started drifting. Obviously, when it started drifting northward, it crossed the equator once and then came and collided with the Asian plate. When it collided with the Asian plate, your basics of a continental drift theory, it was an example of a continent collision. Yahan pe initially you see this area is a white area. When Indian plate was not there, this all was a part of which sea? This all was a part of a Tethys Sea, and after the collision of India with the Asian plate, sediments from the Tethys Sea, sediments from the Indian plate, sediments from the Eurasian plate, or the sediments from the Tethys Sea were crushed, were crumbled, were folded to give rise to the highest mountains in the world that we know as an Himalayan mountain. And therefore, we say that the Tethys Sea came out of an Himalayan geosyncline. Or if you remember the Indian mythological part little bit, Samudra Manthan. Out of that Samudra Manthan came up the Meru mountain. Does it has some similarity to the geography that the Himalayas came out of the Tethys Sea and the Meru mountain came out of the Samudra Manthan? So I leave it that on you, but I am just stressing you the importance that how mythology can be used to interpret geography. How mythology can be used to interpret geography? Adams Bridge region. How mythology can be used to interpret geography? The Meru Mandar and the Himalayan Sea region. Or how mythology can be used to interpret geography? Third example is, I won't take any Hinduism example now there. We'll go to the Jewish religion. The parting up of the Red Sea by Adams. Or the parting of the Red Sea, and that the sea opened. And that story is itself a different story, but you just focus here this now, that the Indian plate started drifting towards the Asian plate. So obviously that means the oldest part was the Indian peninsula. How was the Indian peninsula? This part of India was the Indian peninsula, Vindhyas, Satpuras, the entire part of India. And you see this extension of India and this extension of India. Means this extension of India was what was Aravalli ranges, and this extension of India was what was the Assam hills or Assam Himalayas. After that, Indian plate started going upwards. Now when during its Indian plate's journey upwards, it passed to an island which was known as a Reunion Island. It was this region. Yahan pe there is you can see in your atlas, there is a Reunion Island. During that time, it was a reunion hotspot. And what is a hotspot? A weaker part on the earth's surface, a weaker part of the earth's crust, jahan se there is a volcanic eruption. So when the Indian plate went over the reunion hotspot, this part of Indian plate, I will show with the blue color now, came under the volcanic eruption. So yahan pe there was a volcanic eruption resulting into formation of a volcano or lava, what we famously now call it as a Deccan lava plateau region, which though it is present in the states of Madhya Pradesh, to some extent in the state of Gujarat, to some extent in the state of Karnataka, but the major part of the Deccan lava plateau lies in the state of Maharashtra. Now this is what is today known as a black cotton soil. That means, why I am telling you the story? What is the oldest part of India? Is this peninsula. After that, what formed? Formed was the Deccan lava plateau region. After the formation of a Deccan lava plateau, how did the Deccan lava plateau region was formed? The Deccan lava plateau region was formed when Indian plate passed over the reunion hotspot. Passed over the reunion hotspot. And while passing over the reunion hotspot, obviously what is an hotspot? Is an area of a continuous volcanic eruption. It received an volcano resulting into formation of an Deccan lava plateau region. Now, where is the reunion hotspot? Open your atlas, you will see there. I cannot show you here, but I'll show you how to look for the reunion hotspot. You open your atlas, and in the map of Asia, the greater part of Asia, you will find the reunion hotspot somewhere in the south of the equator. You will find a reunion hotspot, or here near the Madagascar, in the greater map of the world, you will find near Madagascar there is a Reunion Islands. This Reunion Islands was an area of a reunion hotspot. You open this page of your atlas and you will find on this page near Madagascar there is an Reunion Island. So which is this page? This is the page of entire world map. So find out the Reunion Islands. Why I'm asking you to find out the Reunion Islands? Because one of the past year question of UPSC was Reunion Islands belongs to which country? Obviously it was once upon a time there was a hotspot. Now they are in islands. They belong to France. So the Reunion Islands are located near this and they belong to the France. These are the Reunion Islands which belong to France. After that, the Indian plate continued its northward journey. And while continuing its northward journey, you imagine this were the two arms of the Indian plate. One was the Aravalli mountain system. The other was the Assam Himalayas. It came and gave a push to the Asian plate. It collided with the Asian plate. due to its collision with the Asian plate here, what happened, the first thing was all the sediments, it collided with the Asian plate. With the collision of an Asian plate, what happened is the sediments from the Tethys Sea region, from the Tethys Sea, that is the sea which was lying between the Indian plate and the Asian plate, sediments from the Tethys Sea region were folded to form Himalayas. Were folded to form Himalayas. So you are getting the second point in your answer, that is the Himalayas came out of which sea? The Himalayas came out of the Tethys Sea, or it is sometimes referred to as a Himalayas came out of the Tethys geosyncline. I will do that while again doing the Himalayan region. So as a result, they folded to form Himalayas. How is the structure of the Himalayas represented? The structure of the Himalayas is represented by somewhat like this structure. Means there is a sudden bend in the Himalayas, then the Himalayas are sagging downwards, and again the Himalayas take sudden bend southwards, and they project as an islands of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. That means there is somewhat this one bend is there, which is an hairpin bend in the Himalayas. Then again there is a second hairpin bend in the Himalayas. Thus there are two hairpin like bends, and niche in between the Himalayas are sagging downwards. Why this hairpin bend in the Himalayas? Because this is what I was telling you. It was like the two arms of the Indian plate which were giving maximum push to the Asian plate. One was of the Aravalli mountains and one was of the Assam Himalayas. Now this collision between Indian and Asian plate happened three times, resulting into three parallel ranges of the Himalayas, forming the Greater Himalayas, forming the Middle Himalayas, and forming the Shivalik ranges. So first was the oldest part was the Peninsular Plateau region. Second one was the Deccan Lava Plateau region. Third one was the Himalayan region. Now again apply your geomorphology lecture. Again apply the facts about geomorphology, that whenever the Himalaya mountain came up, the rivers which were there in the Himalayas, they maintained their original courses and they came down to the south. In the in the mountainous stages, all the rivers are youthful. So obviously Himalayas are the highest mountains in the world, and therefore the Himalayan regions, the rivers which are originating, they are also in their youthful stage. And as they are coming downwards, because these are youthful rivers, what is high? Their speed is high. Why? Because they are coming down against the slope of the mountain. Because the speed is high. The erosional capacity of a river is high. Youthful river, V-shaped valleys, erosional capacity is very high. They are having high amount of energy as compared to that is when you all are in your youth, you are having high amount of energy. Similarly, there is with the rivers also, the youthful stages are there, the rivers in the youthful stage have high amount of energy, high amount of carrying capacity, and therefore they bring large amount of sediments. Whenever the Himalayan mountains, whenever there was a collision between the Indian plate and the Asian plate, there were three ranges of the Himalayas, and beach mein we know that when the two plates collide, there is one subduction zone or a area jahan pe one plate will go below the other plate. In between this subduction zone, that is this blank area which I have left here, the rivers which came from here filled up this subduction zone with large amount of sediments. It filled up this subduction zone with large amount of sediments, and hence this is what I am representing in this diagram here. That is, these are the sediments which have been brought down by the rivers of Indus, by the rivers of Ganga, and by the rivers of Brahmaputra here. they brought down large amount of sediments, resulting into formation of the Great Plains of India. Resulting into formation of an Great Plains of India. So this is the region जहाँ पे the Great Plains of India have formed. So if we look at the geology of India consists of the Great Plains of India, the Indian plate, which is the peninsular plateau region. I'm writing it as a shortcut, and the Himalayan region here. The peninsular plateau region and the Himalayan region. So what was the oldest? The oldest part is the peninsular plateau region. On the peninsular plateau, there were hills. That is this was the presence of the Aravalli mountains. This was the presence of the Assam Himalayas. After the peninsular plateau, the second, there was a formation of an Deccan lava plateau here. There was a formation of an Deccan lava plateau. Afterwards, there was the formation of the Himalayan ranges. And later on, there were the formation of the Great Plains of the India. There was the formation of the Great Plains of the India. So this is how the story was, that a adventurous part of a Gondwana land, that is Indian plate, broke down in the Australian plate. It started drifting, it got attracted towards Asia. It started coming towards Asia. It got the first shock when it passed over the Reunion Islands, which was then a hot spot. But now these are the islands near Madagascar, which belong to France, जहाँ से the Deccan lava, जहाँ से it was a hot spot, so जहाँ से the volcanic eruption occurred, resulting into formation of a Deccan lava plateau region. Later on, it came and collided with the Asian plate, resulting into formation of Himalayas. As there were three incidences of collision, we have three parallel ranges of Himalayas, and then we have the beach mein, the area between the Indian plate and the Asian plate. The depression was filled up by the sediments which were brought down by the Himalayan rivers, resulting into formation of the Great Plains of India. So the oldest part of India is the peninsular plateau region. The next oldest part of India is the Deccan lava plateau. After that, the Himalayan region, and the youngest is the Great Plains of India. Now you remember one small fact, that the older the part of Earth, there are metamorphic rocks which are found on that. This is just a general idea so that you understand what is the geology of India. The older the part, there will be metamorphic rock. So which part of India has a metamorphic rock? This entire, the peninsular plateau region has a metamorphic rock. Actually, the entire peninsular plateau region should have a metamorphic rock, but somewhere there is a tablecloth or there is a covering of an Deccan lava plateau. The older the rock, richer it is in mineral deposits. Therefore, the peninsular plateau region is rich in metallic mineral deposits. So tell me, where is the iron and steel industry? In UP or in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka region? In Karnataka region, in Jharkhand or Chhattisgarh region, you won't find iron and steel industry in the UP region. Why? Because the UP and all, they belong to the Great Plains of India, while the peninsular plateau region is where the states of Karnataka, states of Chhattisgarh, the states of Jharkhand, etc. is located. Now with this story, let us understand the geology of India. If I want to tell you that how the geology of India is, hope the map is looking okay. So if I tell you how the geology of India looks like, the geology of India has the great mountains of India, that is the Himalayan mountain system, which runs in this direction. So we have the great mountains. In between there is an area which is known as the Great Plains of India. Starts from the state of Rajasthan. Wider in the west and less wide in the east. This is the Great Plains of India. Some part of this Great Plains is known as Indus Plain. Some part of this Great Plains is known as a Ganga Plain. Some part of this Great Plain is known as a Brahmaputra Plain. Some part of this Great Plains is what is known as an Rajasthan Plains, or Rajasthan Desert region. And then we have the Peninsular Plateau region, which I will show with the red color, starting from the Aravalli mountain system here. And then the Vindhyas and the Satpura ranges. A series of 7 continuous mountains bordered by Western Ghat and Eastern Ghats here. This Western and Eastern Ghat will come together at the Nilgiri Hills region. You are not seeing the lower part, it does not matter much in this lecture. So don't worry that you are not seeing the southernmost tip of India. So this is the Peninsular Plateau region. And this part of the Peninsular Plateau has an extension in the east as a Garo Khasi Jaintia Hill region or the Shillong Plateau region. And obviously it is surrounded by, it is having a gap in between, which is because of the Great Plains through which the Ganga river will drain into. And then we have the coastal plains of India. So we have the Himalayan mountain system or the mountains. We have the plains. We have the Peninsular Plateau. And some part of this Peninsular Plateau has been covered by a lava. So we call this as a Deccan Plateau region, or we call this as a Deccan Lava Plateau. I should not be writing Peninsular Plateau here. I am writing it here. And this is what is the Deccan Lava Plateau region, mostly in the states of Maharashtra, but also in the states of Gujarat and to some extent Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, but this is what is the Deccan Lava Plateau region. Now, if I want to ask you what is the characteristics of this rock, this Peninsular Plateau is the oldest plateau in the world. It is one of the oldest landform in the world, and therefore this kind of a rock here, the reddish color rock, is an metamorphic rock. It is an metamorphic rock. The Deccan Lava Plateau is an example of an volcanic eruption. So what will be the rock here? It will be an igneous rock. It will be an igneous rock. After that, the plains of India, these are the rocks which have been brought by the rivers by breaking down the Himalayas. So what will be this rock here? The rock which is formed because of the breaking of an original rock, it is a sedimentary rock. is a sedimentary rock. And the Himalayan mountains are formed due to extensive folding of the sediments of Indian plate, Eurasian plate and the Tethys Sea region. Extensive folding results into which rock? Go through your basics of the rock. It results into formation of an metamorphic rock. It results into formation of an metamorphic rock. So the geology of India talks about that we have four kind of rocks. In the Himalayan mountains we have a metamorphic rock. In the peninsular plateau region we have a metamorphic rock. The plains we have a sedimentary rock, and the Deccan lava plateau we have an igneous rock. Now before I go to the geology, I will just tell you how simple is the Indian geography if you understand the concept. Any good mineral deposits, the metallic minerals such as iron or such as the regions of iron or copper, metallic minerals are found in the areas of metamorphic rock. So where are they found? No doubt in the peninsular plateau region. So the Chota Nagpur plateau region, which is a region of peninsula, Kudremukh plateau region or the Karnataka plateau region, which is the region of peninsula, has metallic mineral deposits, iron ore. Now some part of this peninsular plateau region, which I will use little bit of blue shade along with the red shade. This part of the peninsular plateau, while it was proceeding, some part of the peninsular plateau, yahan pe this was under the influence of a glaciation. If you remember the Wegener's continental drift theory, that there's some part of the Indian peninsular plateau went under glaciation. And even if you don't remember, just understand this, because again it is not important for you from the GS point of view. This part of Indian peninsular plateau went under glaciation. Glaciation means contraction in the volume of water. But after the glaciation period ended, what happened? The glaciers melted. Glacier melting means what? Expansion of a water, volume of a water. And because of the expansion of a volume of water, this part of India, that is, what I'm saying, I'm combining the blue with the red. This part of in India went under water body. Which part? This blue along with the reddish part of India went under the water body. Blue and red color went under the water body. Which water body? Though it went under because of the melting of the glaciers. As a result, many forests in this region, many organic animals in this region, or many large amount of dense forest went under the water. What happens when the large amount of organic matter goes under the river water? What do we get? We get a sedimentary rock. What is the name of that sedimentary rock? The name of the sedimentary rock, which is caused due to submergence of a vegetative matter under the water, is coal. And therefore, this area went under the formation of and this area went under water. This yahan pe large amount of forest went under the water, resulting into formation of a Gondwana coal. So we have Gondwana coal deposits in this region. Why Gondwana coal deposits? Because such submergence occurred during the Gondwana region, and therefore large amount of coal in India was formed during the Gondwana period in India, which coincides with the Carboniferous period in the world. So it resulted into this Gondwana period in India coincides with the Carboniferous period in the world. During this Carboniferous period, as of today, you remember that during this Carboniferous period, because this is what is only required for GS, that during the Carboniferous period, large amount of vegetative matter was buried under the water, resulting into during the Carboniferous period we have coal deposits in the world. We have coal deposits in the world. And such period in the Indian geological history is known as a Gondwana period. is known as an Gondwana period. So during the Gondwana period, we have the major amount of coal deposits in the world, and this is through which the river Godavari flows, river Mahanadi flows, and river Godavari and its tributaries such as Indravati and all flow. So you have this region which is famous for coal. This region also is famous for iron ore. Isliye large amount of iron and steel industries are located in this region. This is why the geology is important. So we have the metamorphic rocks in this region. Some area of the metamorphic rock went under what we call as a lava, resulting into formation of a Deccan lava. So even if this area was rich in mineral deposits once upon a time, as of today, we do not know because there is a thick covering of lava in this region. Therefore, I used the word, this metamorphic rock is covered with the thick tablecloth of lava. So we don't know what is the down here. As of today, we know that this area is a Deccan lava plateau, and its application in the world today is Deccan lava plateau. That igneous rock has resulted into formation of a black soil in this region, and this black soil is famous for cotton growth. Isliye these areas are important for cotton growth in India. These areas are important for iron and steel industries in India. Why iron and steel industry? Because you are getting coal in this region, you are getting iron in this region. Iron and steel industry, at one point you are getting coal, at other point you are getting iron. So you will locate the iron and steel industries in between the coal and iron, especially in the area jahan pe iron ore you are getting, because iron ore loses the weight after weight after getting converted into iron and steel. So to save the transportation cost, the iron and steel industries are located in this region. Iron ore is heavy. To get, for example, you will take 3 tons of iron to make 1 ton of iron and steel. So where you will locate your industry? Near the iron ore region? Yeah, near the market. You will locate the industry if this is an iron ore region and if this is the market. The industry will be located near the iron ore growing region or near the market. You tell me. With the background that iron ore is a weight losing raw material. Weight losing raw material means you require around 3 to 4 tons. Exact figure you don't remember here. You require more iron ore to manufacture less steel. That means you require around 3 to 4 tons of iron ore to manufacture 1 ton of steel. So iron ore industry, if I am locating near iron and steel industry, if I am locating near iron ore region, I will save on what? I will save on transportation cost, because if my industry is located here at this place, I will require to transfer 3 tons of steel iron ore here, and after that 1 ton of steel to the market. So more the weight of a raw material, more money I will have to give for transportation. So that is why, to save on the transportation cost, iron and steel industries are located near the raw material. Why? Because if they locate near the market, they will have to pay extra money for transporting 3 tons of steel, 3 tons of iron ore, and then they will have to 1 ton of steel. What is more economical? Transporting 3 tons of iron ore or 1 ton of steel? Obviously, transporting 1 ton of steel is more economical, and therefore transporting 3 tons of iron ore is less economical, and therefore what the industries try to do? They try to minimize the transportation distance of 3 tons of iron ore. And how to minimize? Locate the industries near the iron ore region. So as of this you don't remember. So therefore this regions are the regions jahan pe the maximum amount of iron ore is, iron and steel industries are located. So this is all about the geology of Peninsular Plateau. Now what is this? This is a area of a sedimentary rock. Over the period of time, this sedimentary rock has given the plain. So if I ask you what is the kind of an soil in the sedimentary rock region, this is an sedimentary soil. It is an sedimentary soil. So the sedimentary soil is a soft soil. It is a kind of a loose soil, and therefore the sedimentary soil Because it is brought down from the Himalayas, as such it does not have any economically valuable minerals in it. And therefore, but because if it is a loose soil, this region is good for agriculture. So these are the Great Plains of India are famous for agriculture. This region, the Peninsular Plateau region, which is not under the Deccan Lava Plateau, it is rich in iron and steel. It is rich in mineral deposits. And as a result of this, this region is famous for iron and metallic minerals. Also, what will be the soil in this region? That is, the soil here is known as a red and yellow soil. I am not teaching you here soil, I am just trying to interrelate this part. It is known as an red and yellow soil here. And lastly, we have the Himalayan mountains, which are the young tertiary fold mountains of India, which are the highest mountain, and therefore this highest mountains of India, whether it is a metamorphic rock, whether it is rich in minerals or whether it is not rich in minerals, today we do not have the technology for exploring these regions. So this is what the geology is important. So the geology of India, the oldest part is Peninsular Plateau, which is now covered by red and yellow soil region. So as of today, you don't remember that because I will teach you about this interrelation even while discussing the soils. Then we have the Deccan Lava Plateau region, we have the Gondwana region, which is famous for coal, we have the Great Plains of India, and the Himalayan mountain system. Age-wise, if I try to divide, have a look at this map here. Age-wise, if I try to divide the geology of India as per its age in the numerical terms, as per its young to old or old to young, the geological, the rock system in India or the geological division of India has 4 divisions. Indian rock system can be divided from the oldest to youngest. The Indian rock system can be divided from the youngest to oldest geologically into the Archean system. Word archaic itself means old. So the Archean system is the oldest rock system in India. That means we are doing the geological division of Indian rock system. Before that, the map, what I told you was just to have an interrelation for their understanding of entire Indian geography. So the Archean rock system. After the Archean rock system came the Purana rock system. After the Purana rock system came the Dravidian rock system. And last one, the youngest rock system in India was the Aryan rock system. So the oldest rock in India was the Archean rock system, then the Purana rock system, then the Dravidian rock system, and then the Aryan rock system. How to remember it? Don't mug up. Just try to understand the meaning of each and every word. Archaic means very old. So the Archean rock system is the oldest rock system in India. उसके बाद Dravidian से भी पुराना in history is, Dravidian से older in history is Puranas. So the Purana rock system in Indian history. After that, the civilization wise, Aryan were the youngest, so the youngest rock system in India is known as an Aryan rock system because they were the later on invaders. The people who were before the Aryans in India were the Dravidians. So we have the Dravidian rock system. Thus, the oldest rock system in India is Archean, then Purana, then Dravidian, and then Aryan. A simple question will come based on this, that is based on this lecture, is first arrange the rock systems from youngest to oldest. Youngest to oldest, they are Aryan, Dravidian, Purana or Archean. Or from oldest to youngest, these are Archean, Purana, Dravidian and Aryan rock system. So this chapter is missing in the new NCERTs, but it was there in the old NCERTs, and therefore the questions have been asked from this. Very simple question, that is why I am doing it. If they ask you which is the youngest geological formation, we have Himalayas. Then the oldest part of India is Peninsular Plateau. This is what we have learned. The Peninsular Plateau is consist of which rocks? Metamorphic rocks. Why? Because it is the oldest, subjected to much pressure. Then therefore it has a metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rock is rich in mineral deposits. Therefore, in our lecture we saw that the Peninsular Plateau region is rich in metallic deposits. Deccan Lava Plateau, black cotton soil. Beach mein sedimentary soil. Though it is not very important from the prelim point of view, that will help you to give a very rich understanding, very holistic understanding for entire Indian geography. So if I ask you iron and steel region, Varanasi or Chota Nagpur Plateau region, geology say you know that in the Varanasi it comes in the Great Plains of India. So there cannot be iron and steel industry there. It has to be somewhere in the towns of the Chota Nagpur Plateau region. So we will have a basic understanding, holistic understanding of the geology of India. Now, this is actually what is the geological division of India. So we will study each of this geological division of India in the next lecture, and we will, if you try to understand conceptually what I am trying to do rather than mugging up. Okay, so thank you very much. Keep watching. We'll meet soon.